Hello and welcome. My name is Leslie and this is going to be a Vin to Yin or vinyasa to Yin class. I actually just tried to teach this class live on Zoom and lost connection with all of my students because there is currently a tropical storm going on outside my house. But I really enjoyed this flow that I had planned, and so I really wanted to share it with them. And by recording it this way, this means that I can share it with all of you as well. So thank you for joining me. This was definitely my daily lesson or remembrance that we can't really control what life throws our way, but we can control how we react to it, right? So that's really what our practice is here today and every day. This is going to be a pretty slow, chilled out vinyasa flow that we'll then transition into a yin practice where we're going to hold poses for between 1 and 5 minutes. And to get started, we'll lie down on our backs. So as you start to make your way down onto the mat, I'll suggest that you start with Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly pose, pulling the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall apart like butterfly wings, resting the hands wherever they're comfortable. But if your hips, your inner thighs are feeling like they're not quite ready for Supta Baddha Konasana, then bring the soles of the feet to the mat with the knees bent and pointing towards the ceiling, or you could start in Shavasana with the legs out long. So just start to make your way into some kind of position, lying down on the back. And I don't know about for you, but for me, lying down just immediately reminds my body that it's okay to relax. That we don't always have to be holding on of every muscle. We don't always have to be in control, upright, and moving forward. Sometimes we can be in stillness with nothing to do, nowhere else to go. And that's really what we're reminding ourselves here in this moment. Maybe for the very first time today, since we first woke up, we get to just enjoy being still, lying down. Let's take a long breath in through the nose and a slow breath out. A long inhale and a long exhale. One more time, a long breath in and a long breath out. We'll take just a few more rounds of breath, cultivating this smooth, easy rhythm with the breath. And then without letting ourselves feel rushed, we'll just gently and slowly start to pull the knees in towards the chest. Once the knees are hugging in, we might just notice our spine is nice and long, our low back or our sacrum is pressed to the mat. And then from here, we'll find a simple twist, letting the knees drop over to the left side of the mat, keeping the chest open towards the ceiling, maybe even reaching the right hand off the mat. Just getting a big opening through the right side of the chest. Here, our right shoulder gets nice and heavy, and that helps deepen the twist. Take another long breath in and a slow breath out. Gently pull the knees back through center, letting the low back find the mat. And then we'll let the knees fall over to the right. Taking our twist the other way, keeping the chest open, maybe reaching the left hand off the mat, letting the left shoulder get nice and heavy. So by twisting the spine, we're just helping to warm it up, to create a little bit of mobility before we start moving and grooving through our vinyasa flow. We'll take one more long breath in here. Stay on your breath out. And then we'll pull the knees through center. So our spine is neutral, sacrum or low back is to the mat. And then we're going to plant the soles of the feet, and the heels will be in close to the tush. Hands are down by the side. Let's press the palms face down to start. So we're here in the beginning of our bridge pose. And toes are all pointing forward, feet are hips width distance apart. Another long breath in, stay right here. And then on your exhale, press into both feet, start to lift the hips up. On your inhale, lower back down nice and slowly. Tailbone will be the last thing to touch. And then a slow exhale to lift up. Inhale, lower down. Last time, exhale, press into both feet. Lift the hips up. Start to work the chest towards the wall behind you. Chin away from the chest. And then slowly lower down. And once the sacrum is all the way down to the mat, we'll pull the knees in towards the chest one last time. This time, grab hold behind the knees, just reaching for the hamstrings or the back of the thighs. And we'll start to rock and roll up and down the spine. So we're just trying to create a little bit of momentum, giving the spine a nice massage as we rock back and forth, maybe 2 more times. And we're headed into downward facing dog. So once we come upright to our seat, let's cross the ankles, plant the hands, step, or you could hop the feet back. And then find your downward facing dog. So the hips are lifting high to the sky. The knees are nice and soft here, especially in this first down dog. Heels are melting back and down. We can spread the fingertips apart for a little bit of extra traction and really press through the palms. On the next inhale, we'll just pick up the heels, bend the knees, and then look between the hands, and let's step the feet forward to the top of the mat. Coming into our standing forward fold, knees stay soft. Head, neck, and shoulders get heavy. Back of the neck is long. And we'll spin a few more rounds of breath here. And take a long breath in. Take a slow breath out. On your next inhale, lift halfway up. Press hands to the shins. Look forward, lengthen the spine. On your exhale, fold forward, drop the crown of the head. Inhale, press through both feet as you rise up, reach up, grow all the way up, look between the hands. Exhale, bow forward, hinge at the hips, drop the crown of the head down. Inhale, halfway lift, press hands to the shins, look forward. Exhale, fold, relax the crown of the head. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Take the gaze up. And then exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, drop, fold forward. One more round just like that. Inhale, rise up, reach up, really open across the chest. Maybe lean back. On your exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plank pose. We're gonna bend the knees, drop the hands, step, or you could hop the feet back. One inhale in plank pose. Come forward on the toes, look past the top of the mat, and then on the exhale, we'll lower onto the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Traction the chest forward, lengthen, and then lift up as you breathe in. On the exhale, we'll lower the chest back down. Cobra 2 more times. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, lower the chest. One more time. Inhale, cobra pose, lift the chest. Press the tops of the feet to the mat. And then on the exhale, lower the chest, sit the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Downward facing dog. We'll start to spread the fingertips, press through the palms, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. On your inhale, shift weight over to the left heel and we'll float the right heel up and back. On the exhale, pull your knee towards your nose, shift the shoulders forward, use your core, step the right foot between the hands. Inhale for high lunge. We're gonna ground through the right foot, lift the chest, lift the arms, maybe start to lift the gaze up. And then we'll play with our balance a little bit here. Let's drop hands together in front of the heart. We're gonna interlace the fingers. Take your Charlie's Angels hands so the pointers and thumbs stay out. And then we'll inhale and float the hands back overhead. On the exhale, press through that forward foot. Let's tip over to the left. So we're working our balance and stretching the side body. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale over to the right. Maybe this side is easier. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, float the left heel up and back. Exhale, cheetah pose, round the spine, pull the knee towards the nose, step the left foot forward. Inhale, high lunge, we lift up. Let's take one more round of breath here in high lunge. And then Charlie's Angels hands. So we're gonna interlace the fingers, pointers and thumbs stay out. On an inhale, we'll lift the hands back up, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, tip over to the right this time. Inhale, lift up through center, lengthen. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, down dog, drop hands to the mat and slide the left foot back. Inhale forward into plank pose, lengthen the spine, look forward. Lower all the way in onto the belly. So nice and controlled, we lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra pose, untuck the toes. Roll the chest up, collarbones are nice and wide, neck is long. And then child's pose, take the seat towards the heels. And take 3 more rounds of breath in child's pose. Downward facing dog. Spread the fingertips, tuck the toes. Let's lift the hips up and back. On your next inhale, pick up the heels, bend the knees, look between the hands, and then walk, step, or you can hop the feet forward and fold. Inhale, lift halfway up and lengthen the heart forward. And then exhale, fold. Here we're gonna step the feet together to touch. On your next inhale to your pose, drop the seat, start to peel the chest and belly up, reach the hands up. All right, so we'll go through a couple options just in our chair pose. So you can have the feet together, squeezing the knees towards one another for stability, or maybe your hips feel better with the feet apart, keeping the knees tracking over the toes, weight back in the heels. Good. And then we want our happy shoulders. So you can reach up, you could reach straight ahead, you could bring hands together in front of the heart. Shoulders work away from the ears, chest is nice and open and proud. Breathe here. Take one more long breath in. On your exhale, let's fold forward, straighten the legs, separate the feet hips width distance. And then this time we're going to take our peace fingers to the big toes. So we'll bend the knees as much as we need to bind fingers and toes. And then drop the head, neck, and shoulders. And maybe slowly we start to straighten through the legs. Bend into the knees, release the hands. On your inhale, halfway lift the chest, lengthen the spine, look forward. On your exhale, plank pose, we'll bend the knees, plant the hands, step where you could hop the feet back. One more, inhale here, plank pose, the top of our push-up, lengthen the spine. On your exhale, lower, nice and controlled, all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose, roll the chest open. Exhale, child's pose, seat to the heels. Take 3 more breaths in here. A long breath in through the nose. And a slow breath out. One more big breath in. Your slowest breath out. Find downward facing dog. Without letting yourself feel rushed, start to spread the fingertips, tuck the toes, and then pike the hips up and back as your heels reach down for the mat. On your next breath in, we'll float the right heel up and back, 3-point or 3-legged dog, and then exhale, knee to nose, cheetah pose. We'll step the right foot between the hands. Warrior 2, we're gonna spin the back heel to the mat, hips open towards the long edge of the mat, and then we're lifting the torso up, hands reach out over the feet, gaze is forward over the front fingertips. So the front knee is tracking over the front ankle and even opening out towards the pinky toe. On your next inhale, let's flip the front palm, sweep the ceiling, lean back, peaceful warrior, reverse warrior, and then exhale for side angle pose. Let's bring the right forearm to the right thigh and take the left arm up towards the sky. Now we'll really anchor through the outer edge of the left foot. Keep the chest nice and open, reaching towards the long edge of the mat. Left hand can reach high towards the sky, or extended side angle, we could pull the bicep by the ear and reach the hands off the top of the mat. Take another long breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Release hands to the mat, frame the front foot, pick up the back heel, step back. We can pedal out the feet here. We can wag the tail side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll ground through the right heel, reach the left heel up and back, breathe in. On your exhale, round the spine, pull the knee towards the nose, step the left foot forward, and then warrior 2. We'll ground the right heel to the mat this time, cartwheel the chest up, hands open over the feet. Peaceful warrior. On an inhale, flip the left palm, sweep the ceiling, right hand to the right leg, lean back. And then side angle pose, left forearm to the left thigh, right arm up towards the sky to start. So we're working on opening the chest. Sometimes our chest wants to turn down towards the mat. We're just helping it open out to the side, maybe even work it up towards the ceiling slightly. Right hand can reach up towards the sky, or we can pull the bicep by the ear, hand reaching towards the top of the mat. 3 more breaths here. One more long breath in. Downward facing dog, square the chest, plant the hands, step the left foot back. And then let's pedal out the feet. So just bending one knee and then the other. And then find your downward facing dog, both heels sort of melting back and down. We're gonna turn this down dog into a side body stretch. So we'll just pick up the heels, and then both heels are gonna drop over to the right. So we'll drop the instep of the left foot and the knife edge side of the right foot, and then we'll press through both hands. We get this big stretch through the intercostal muscles or the ribs on the left side. We'll pick the heels back up through center. Let them drop over to the left. Press through both hands. Pick the heels back up through center, downward facing dog. And then child's pose, come onto the hands and knees. Take the hips back towards the heels, lower the forehead. Really slow the breath down here. See if you can lengthen each inhale, each exhale. And then from our child's pose, we'll start to walk the hands back towards the knees. Coming to sit in our hero pose. So we'll pull the knees together to touch. Sit back towards the heels if the bottom can't touch the mat. Maybe we close down the eyes, just letting our attention linger inward. Here we'll practice just a few rounds of box breath or Samavritti, equal parts breath. So for box breath, we'll take 4 parts to the breath. We'll inhale, hold, pause. Inhale, hold, exhale, and pause. And each of those 4 parts, the inhale, the hold, the exhale, and the pause, will be done to the count of 4. Give it a few rounds. Let's start with a long breath in and a slow breath out. So really exhale completely, let it all go. Inhale slowly for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more round. Inhale. Hold at the top. Exhale. Hold at the bottom. Find your natural breath. A long breath in. And a slow breath out. And breathe here just in a natural rhythm, the natural flow of the breath. We'll pause just a couple more moments to feel any rebound effect of our box breath. And then we'll gently shift forward onto hands and knees, finding our tabletop position. And from tabletop, we'll move into a puppy pose. So we're going to keep the hips stacked over the knees, but walk the hands forward like you would in a child's pose. And then with the hands reaching forward, we're going to focus on dropping the forearms, the elbows, and the armpits and chest down towards the mat. Chin, cheek, or forehead can come down for a little bit more support. We'll spend about 5 more rounds of breath here, just working on opening across the upper back, the shoulder blades, through the armpits, the shoulders. And we can release from puppy into Sphinx pose by sending the shoulders forward over the elbows, letting the hips and the belly drop to the mat. So we'll work on stacking the shoulders over the elbows with the forearms and hands grounding down. Tops of the feet and the ankles will relax down towards the mat. And we'll be holding Sphinx for a couple minutes. So I always like to give 2 options here. You might stay with the head upright, the neck long, or you might drop the chin down towards the chest, just relaxing the neck and the head completely. We'll spend about 1 more minute, either in Sphinx pose as we are, or in seal pose. So if you'd like to take seal pose for the next 8 breaths or so, we'll press into the hands and then start to lift the the elbows up off the mat. And we'll lift the chest up also. Tops of the feet stay pressing into the mat. This is a deeper back bend. So just notice how you feel, especially in the low back. You control the settings in a seal pose. You could straighten the elbows completely. You could bend them slightly, bring the chest back down. You can always come back into our Sphinx pose. So Sphinx or seal for about 3 more rounds of breath. And then we'll all release the chest down towards the mat. We're bringing the spine into neutral. Let's turn one cheek down. Pull the hands back by the sides to rest. Let the shoulders just get heavy and roll forward towards the mat. We'll take a few rounds of breath here with the spine in neutral. Just feeling any rebound from our back bend. And child's pose. Very slowly start to work the hands underneath the shoulders, palms face down. And then with palms to the mat, we'll very gently press onto hands and knees. And eventually back into our child's pose, seat towards the heels and the forehead towards the mat. In this child's pose, we'll notice our spine is long, tailbone is heavy towards the heels. And then with the forehead connected to the mat, we could roll the forehead side to side, giving that space between the eyebrows a little massage. Maybe noticing if that helps us feel a bit more grounded. If you feel your thoughts wandering or starting to attach significance to different thoughts or ideas coming across the mind, and you'd like to come back to the present moment, I invite you to come back into that box breath, or that equal parts breath. Counting each inhale to 4, trying to hold at the top to 4, exhaling slowly, holding at the bottom. And take 5 more rounds of breath here, either with box breath, samavritti breath, or just a natural rhythm, something slow and steady. And from child's pose, start to walk the hands back towards the knees, coming to sit on the heels, lifting the chest up. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our seat. So however you'd like to get there, maybe crossing the ankles and rolling over, or sending the shins around to one side. But we'll come into a comfortable seat just to start. We'll notice that our sits bones are finding the mat, so we're connected, we're anchored through the hips. And then we'll take our feet out wide. So we're going to send the heels out away from one another. And then maybe we can reestablish that grounding or that anchoring through the sits bones. So we might like to stay right here with the chest upright. We could even bring the fingertips down by the hips and use them for a little bit of stability and support. Or you might walk the chest forward, reaching the hands out between the legs. Stopping at whatever point feels right to you, that point where you feel a stretch, it feels good, it feels deep, but it's not painful. It's sustainable. You can be here for a couple of minutes or so. So you find that point, you establish it for yourself. And then we'll do our best to relax in this wide-legged forward fold. So that might mean dropping the head, pulling the chin in towards the chest. It means rounding the spine maybe, letting the upper body just be heavy. Do your best to keep your mind where your body is. So in this room, on this mat, maybe you notice whatever there is to notice in this pose. Maybe a stretch through the inner thighs. Maybe you notice a softening or a release through the upper back, the neck. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then if your chest is forward, we'll use the hands to walk the chest back upright. I always feel like the Tin Man after that pose. So we're going to bring the legs together in front of us, and I always use my hands to kind of help them get there, just to be easy on the hip sockets. Once the legs are zipped up together in front of us, we can give them a little wiggle here. We could jostle the knees up and down, or we could windshield wiper the feet side to side, just finding a little bit of release. And we'll take our half shoelace pose, starting on the left side. So let's pull this left knee up towards the chest. And then we're going to cross the left leg over the right. So we can help it over the right, and we're looking to stack the knees one on top of the other, and that might not happen in your body today or even in this lifetime, and that is okay. All we're really trying to do here is get a stretch through the hips, and then maybe through the hamstring of the right leg. So once this left leg is folded over the right, maybe the heel comes in towards the seat. Maybe it doesn't today, maybe it's out to the side. We can decide now whether we want to keep the chest upright with the hands down by the sides for a little bit of extra support, or maybe we'd like to hinge the chest forward, sending some weight over the legs, deepening the stretch. So if you have sort of the tendency to hyperextend through the knee joints, I invite you to pick up this right knee and then just slide the palms underneath the calf. And then you can lower the right knee back to the mat. That's going to create just a little bit of sort of cushion or support to prevent you from overextending or hyperextending the right knee. If your chest is forward, we'll start to walk the chest back upright. Once we're upright, we'll uncross the legs, sending the left leg back out long. And again, we could jostle the knees up and down, or we could windshield wiper the feet in and out. I'm just finding a little bit of release through the hips and the hamstrings here. And then we'll take the other side. So we'll pull this right knee up towards the chest just to start, making sure that the sits bones stay grounded towards the mat. And then we can cross the legs. So the right leg is going to come over the left. Maybe today, or maybe not, the knees line up one on top of the other. And then here, hands can stay down towards the mat, helping the chest stay lifted and proud. Or we could start to send the chest forward over the legs, maybe even sliding our hands underneath the left calf for a little bit extra support. Do your best to stay right here in this pose, moment by moment, for about 5 more rounds of breath. Really feeling the body surrender with each exhale. Embody this softening, this stillness, and letting go. And we'll lift the chest back upright, and taking our time, just moving really slowly when we feel ready. And then one last time, we're gonna uncross the legs. We'll send both legs out long. And then we find just organic movement, something that feels really nice in your body. Rolling the ankles in and out, or jostling the knees up and down, maybe giving the upper body a little wiggle, a little spin too, something soft and easy. And then once we've gotten all the wiggles out, we'll come all the way down to the back. We'll set up now for Shavasana, for our final resting pose. So take your time. There is no rush here. We want to take a shape in the body that will help us relax completely. So that might mean lying down with the feet out wide towards the edges of the mat. letting the baby toes spin outward so that our legs are completely relaxed. We're no longer controlling the muscles or holding on. The upper body is heavy and relaxed as well. Maybe the palms even spin face up. And it's here in Shavasana that we even relax the face. We soften the jaw. We soften the muscles around the eyes, in between the eyebrows. And it's nice just to remind ourselves here that we've given ourselves this time. This time is for us. There's nowhere to go. Nothing else that we need to be doing for the next couple of minutes. In Shavasana, we get to practice being alone with ourselves. And take a long breath in through the nose. And take a slow breath out. And start to funnel your awareness just on the rise and the fall of your chest and belly as you breathe in and out. Let your full awareness come to sit on the movement of the breath. We can spread awareness through the body by finding little subtle movements like wiggling the fingers and the toes, or rolling the wrists and the ankles. Just moving gently, slowly, subtly. And eventually, we'll reach the arms up and overhead and pull the knees in towards the chest. And you might like to stay right here on your back with the knees in towards the chest, or you might prefer to roll over to one side, maybe even resting your head on your arm. But we'll pause here just a couple more moments in either position to really seal in the practice. Here we seal in the benefits of the physical practice of yoga, the practice of the poses, the asanas that happens on our mat. We feel those good effects in here, so that when we step off of our mats, back into our lives, into the living practice of yoga, we can carry them with us. And we'll gently press up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed just a moment or two longer, letting our attention linger inward just a few more moments. When we're upright, we'll pull hands together in front of the heart, thumbs in towards the chest in Anjali Mudra. And it's here that we can bow chin towards fingertips, simply nodding, acknowledging ourselves for showing up, for doing this practice. And then we'll acknowledge one another just by sort of nodding or acknowledging our shared humanity. So let's take a long breath in through the nose, and a slow breath out. The good part in me, the light, the love, the humanity in me, it acknowledges, bows, and honors that same light, the same love, goodness, humanity in you. I thank you for being here. Namaste.